In this lesson, we will work on controlling the mech's arms. So we just have a few steps in this lesson. Let's go ahead and get started by parent constraining our shoulder bones to follow the upper body. So we know how to do this. Let's go ahead and parent constrain to the shoulder guard. So we'll start with the left side. We'll grab the geometry of the shoulder guard. We'll shift select the joint that needs to be constrained, and we'll apply our parent constraint. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and do that again for the right side. We'll press the G key this time to rerun the last action. Alright, now it's time to test this out. So as we start to move this center of gravity control around, you can see how the arms will follow. Sweet. Now it's time for the next step. We'll go ahead and bind to our joints. So to get started here, let's go ahead and grab the ball joint of the shoulder, and we'll have that skinned to the shoulder bone. Sweet. Using the same options that we've already set up. Let's go to the next piece and get that bound. Press the G key. How about the forearm? Let's go ahead and bind to the forearm bone now. And let's go ahead and test this out. So we'll start to rotate the forearm and take a look. We're running into double transformation effects on a few of our claw pieces. This happens when we have multiple levels of transformations that occur on objects. So since these claw pieces are instanced, what that means is that they have something that's actually transforming them as we start to move this mesh. But not only that, we also have extra transformations coming from this forearm bone. So not good at all. Here's how we get around that. We can go ahead and take the claws. Let's go ahead and unbind. So go to skin, and we will detach the skin. Fantastic. When we start to move the forearm, you can see that they will not follow. It's exactly what we want. So now at this point, we can go ahead and take the geometry. Let's go ahead and parent to wrist end. So we'll press the P key. Let's go ahead and test this out. As we start to now rotate the forearm, you can see, all right, we have one piece following. Let's go ahead and move to the next piece and get that parented. Wonderful. Then we'll grab the last piece and get that parented as well. We can't be fooled when it comes to the instanced mesh, simply because it looks like when we select one, we're selecting the entire instanced object. But that's not necessarily the case. That's why I have to be really careful and make sure that we're grabbing all pieces that we would like to parent. So now everything is working just fine. Let's go ahead and be on the safe side and start to rotate our instance claws just to make sure that they work well. Fantastic. So now we can do the same thing on the opposite side. Again, we'll just go in and we will skin to our bone objects. So that's smooth bind. We'll go to the next piece. We'll smooth bind to the shoulder. Let's go ahead and just hit the G key. Now let's go ahead and grab the forearm and take care of that. So we'll get that bound. And then we know that with the claws, we'll need to unbind them so we don't have these double transformation effects. So we'll go ahead and select our claw, and let's go ahead and choose skin, detach skin. Fantastic. Now it's time to parent to the end of our chain, right? Which is wrist end. So we'll grab all three pieces of geometry. Again, it might look kind of tricky because it looks like we're not selecting multiple pieces, but we actually are. And now let's go ahead and shift select the end joint and press the P key. Wonderful. Now I'd like to point out that if your mesh ever turns dark in a way where it looks like your normals are flipped, this is something that happens every once in a while with instance geometry. So all you have to do is go in and freeze your transforms and you're good to go. Fantastic. Alright, let's test this out. So as we start to move this bone, everything works well. When we start to move the instance geometry, everything works well here. Fantastic. So let's see what happens when we grab our center of gravity control and we start to move that. Sweet, everything follows. So what that means is our job is done here. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what inverse kinematics will do for us in the next lesson.